Hi, this is Pam, Flower Patch Farmhouse. I'm in my greenhouse and I'm going to share with you how I do my lavender topiaries. I'm just starting this, so these were started from cuttings, which I have an entire post on my website on how I start lavender cuttings. This one was started this summer and it's going pretty good in this pot. These were started last year, and in the spring I started to make them into topiaries. And I trimmed off all the foliage down here. I singled out one stem of my cutting, and I trimmed off all the other foliage except for one strong stem, and then I've been trimming it at the top so that I get it to this height, and the more I trim the top growth, the more it will put out bushy growth here. And that's my goal. This one I just trimmed earlier today. It had more canes coming out, or stems, to match this one. And so this one is what I did my photograph blog post on, trimming it. So I am going to move that out of the way. And I only get one take, so let's hope this works, because I don't have any others to trim on. You notice this one, as compared to the others, has several main stems right now. See how much shorter it is? Let me put this one up here. See, this one has the growth up here in a ball and then just stem, and that's what I'm going for. So this has the bunch of stems coming from down here. So I want it to be the same height as this one and the same shape. So what I'm going to do is trim off what I don't want, and I'm going to pose the camera so you get a good visual. And I take my cutters, my pruners, and I decide which cane I want to focus on. Now I know I don't want this one, so I'm taking that one out. I just trim it off as close to the main stem as I can. And then there's two left here, and this one is going straighter than this one, but you see the cane is coming up and then curving. So I like this one, is almost the right height. So I'm going to take this stem out, even though it's straighter. I cut that one out, and what I'm going to do is take my I use pantyhose strips, and I don't have any cut right now, so I'm going to have to cut some and come right back. So how I tie it up is, this one's already tied to at the base. It's kind of loose, but one thing nice about the pantyhose is they don't cut into the stems. And I line it up with my bamboo pole that I use, and I'll just kind of strip some of that foliage off that stem, and I tie it up to it snugly. Now this will stretch as it grows, and it will not, I need to tie that up, restrict it in any way. Here, I'm going to tie this, tie it a little tighter up at the base. I don't know if you can see this in the camera, but it's not really important. It's the same as above. And there we go. So now I want to cut back some of the top. And I want to cut back some of the top. And let's see. This one, this foliage that's blooming, I want to cut back. And then I'm going to see, this is kind of here, and this is a little bit taller. So we'll work with it on that soon. Oh, there's another piece down here that needs to go. Now the more I generate or cut away, it will send energy to this piece and then become more of the globe shape as I prune and trim it. It'll shoot out more here around that part. And I pinch off what comes up on the stem, and then the energy goes to making the top. Now this is, I'm doing this in fall, which is not the growth period of these. So right now I won't get a lot of good growth or quick growth unless I put it under grow lights, and I do have a new grow light that I'm going to set up, and so that will make it start growing again. But a lot of times I would do this in the spring and then just kind of trim it up through the summer and then let it fill in. But I didn't get to this until now, and it doesn't hurt it to do it now. It won't fill in as much until later on. And soon I hope to start pruning up these little starts that I have in pots, and then I have a whole another little pot. Some of them aren't making it, but this is some more cuttings I have put into a little terracotta pot to start. That is a piece of myrtle. So when you do take cuttings and go to start them, do twice as many as you think you're going to want, or 5 times as many, because you are going to lose some. And just be prepared for that. It's not a big deal. You're not doing anything wrong. That's just the nature of taking cuttings and starting them. So that is basically how I am doing some lavender topiaries. And I'm also, let me reach over here, I'm doing some rosemary topiaries. And I need to trim on these pretty quick. You see how that they're more green, where the lavender is more silver blue. And these are in a little bit bigger pots too.